Now, though, after another loss for Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim, he shoulders the blame for things going wrong for his side.
It's also my fault in this moment, because I think the team now is not improved. I think is a little bit lost in this moment. So it's a little bit embarrassing to be a Manchester United coach and to lose a lot of games. So but we have to cope with that difficult moments in the life of everybody. So it's a hard moment.
Yeah, really difficult time for Ruben Amorim. He is not used to being in this predicament because, as we mentioned yesterday, in his time at Sporting Lisbon, he'd only lost consecutive games once in his tenure there. Whereas right now, it doesn't look good, particularly for United, having lost 5 of their last 6, and they are 14th in the table, only 7 points clear of the bottom 3. Joining us to reflect a little bit more on what is going on at Manchester United, it's a former defender of theirs, Phil Bardsley. Good morning to you, Phil. How you doing?
Morning, Bardo.
Good morning, Natalie. Sir Gabby.
Hey!
Gobby.
We're going with Sir Gobby. Oh dear, where do we start? That first half an hour in particular yesterday has got to be one of the worst for many watching on yesterday.
Yeah, it certainly was, Natalie. It wasn't a pretty sight. Difficult to watch. We watched over the previous games. Obviously, Spurs away, Forest at home, Spurs away, Bournemouth at home. Same sort of story. Giving cheap goals away, not defending properly. I think we've all played the game. Obviously, before you go out and you and your teammates are speaking, and you want to start the game right. You want to start on the front foot. You do your basics, win your individual battles. And unfortunately, last night there's just absolutely none of that.
Bardo, you go to Manchester United games still, don't you? And obviously you played there. But watching on TV, it seems like a positive atmosphere at the start, loud. That song comes on, Take Me Home. Everyone's singing, party atmosphere, and then the players just first minute just don't get out the blocks. Can you try and explain that for listeners?
I'm not sure,
I don't
Gabby,
get it, mate.
No, listen. Obviously, you've played at Old Trafford many times, and it's always had that fear factor of when you play there, standing in the tunnel against obviously elite teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think teams go there now and have simply got no fear when they come up against them, and you don't blame them. You look at the team and the way they play now. I think every team goes there thinking that they can win the game, and that's certainly the point. The point again last night. I think take nothing away from Newcastle. I thought it was outstanding, but I thought obviously United were really, really poor.
They've lost their last 3 in the Premier League. Haven't scored a goal, in fact, in those 3 defeats. And it's actually 4 losses in a row as well when you bring in that Tottenham League Cup defeat as well. But when we just mentioned they're just 7 points clear of the bottom 3, Phil. Do you think they are involved in a relegation fight?
Oh, please no. No. Listen, the league doesn't lie, does it? They're there for a reason. They're there because they've simply not been good enough. And obviously we've changed the manager. It didn't work for obviously Eric Ten Hag. But obviously you look at the players that have been brought in over the summer. It's just not worked for some of them. I felt a little bit sorry for obviously Xerxes last night. He's had opportunities to play, and obviously he got jeered off a little bit, which is not really like the United fans, to be fair. They're normally with the team all the way and the players, but obviously I think you can just sense the frustration coming out of the whole club. Obviously there's a lot of noise coming out of the club for various reasons, and I think it's reflecting on the pitch. The players are the ones who obviously go on the pitch and have got to put it right, and unfortunately at the minute they're not doing that. They're a million miles away from what a Man United team should look like.
I seen this morning
he didn't answer if they were in a relegation fight.
I know he does. Bardo, but I seen this morning that there's no money to spend for Manchester United. PSR rules, financial fair play. There's not going to be much business done in January. So this group of players have got to sort of step up, haven't they? And yesterday, seeing the starting lineup, and you've got Garnacho and Rashford, neither are starting. He's got to get them in the team, hasn't he? Somehow.
I think so, Gabby, but I think that's for other reasons, obviously outside of football. And I don't think Ruben Amorim suffers fools, to be fair. And if you're not conducting yourself in the right way and you're not training in the right manner, I think obviously Gabby, we obviously played together at Villa.
Yeah.
I think training's where it begins. I think, you know, you've got to apply yourself in the right way, and you've got to train with the right intentions day in, day out. And I think that stems onto the pitch when you go and play. And obviously Ruben's seen that players are not conducting themselves in the right way.
Bardo, like, you've been in changing rooms. Do you look at this Manchester United group of players and say,
there's no demand, Gabby. I don't see any demand.
Yeah, but who's gonna like lock everyone in the changing room as a squad, and who's gonna be in there screaming and shouting and saying, "Listen, we're embarrassing ourselves. We're embarrassing legends of the club. We're embarrassing our fans. We are laughing stock of the Premier League." Who in that squad would you say would do that?
All the above of what you're saying, right, Gabby? I totally get that, but I look at the squad and I look at the senior players, and I just don't see that they've got any characters that have got that. I mean, obviously there's big talk of Martinez when he come in was obviously a big character, and people comparing him to the man Vidic. I mean, it's an insult to Vidic.
Yes, definitely.
Obviously, you're looking at the goals we're conceding, and it's not just individual errors, but it's a collective as well when you're conceding. But obviously, last night the goals that we give away were obviously you'd see that in the kids' football. Not just the goal, the chance for Isak after as well, where you know he's stood in his own half and he's been put clear through. I mean, you know, communication and, like you say, demand that you're putting on your teammates, it just doesn't seem to be there.
A few managers this season have come under criticism for a refusal to change their style of play. Russell Martin ended up losing his job at Southampton. Ange Postecoglou, well, the spotlight's still very much on him. And Ruben Amorim afterwards was saying, look, this is how I'm going to play. I'm not going to change it. This is who I am. Do you think he does need to tweak it, especially when Manchester United head to Liverpool this Sunday?
Well, I was looking, and obviously before I seen his interview before the game yesterday, I was thinking he might at some point he might change things around and go to a 4 and just tighten up as well in midfield. But obviously, seeing his interview last night, he looks like he's reluctant to do that. He's obviously, the club have bought him in for a reason. They're obviously attracted to him by the football he plays and the system that he plays. And listen, he's coming at the minute. It's not working. Maybe that's because of the players he's got at his disposal that are not good enough. He obviously needs a couple of transfer windows to bring the players in that he wants and he trusts. But is the money there, like Gabby touched on? Is the money there to spend? We obviously we'll have to wait and find out. But he certainly needs reinforcements because the players that are going out there at the minute are just not doing it.
Phil, thank you for chatting to us this morning. Happy
New
Year to you.
Happy New
Have
Year,
a great
pal.
New Year.
Same to
Cheers,
you. Keep your calls coming into us then on the Manchester United situation. United fans, we want to know, are you worried about a possible relegation fight? Will it get worse before it gets better? And Newcastle fans, of course, we do want to hear from you as well, because, wow, you've picked up form. You're what? Well, there is the concern about the future and whether or not they can keep hold of Alexander Isak.
Get that contract sorted ASAP.
I know, terrific player.
Top player.
And you're fifth now, 3 points off the top 4. Do you think you can actually now wrestle your way into that? Let us know this morning. And also your calls on Gareth Southgate's knighthood. We've got a few strong views coming your way. So get in touch if you want to have your say. 03 717 2233 44.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.